Yes, I know what you're saying. You can't be eating human DNA. It doesn't work. That's where God drops the hammer. Our spiritual guide drops the hammer at that point. You're going to do that, you're going to get kuru, and it's going to start rotting your mind, and you're going to start doing some pretty psychotic stuff. And the stuff that I'm witnessing right now, look at that guy that came on there, that Perez guy, self-mutilation, because he was doing some very evil things. That's not him doing it. He's possessed, and he's showing it right. He's trying to show it right on camera. They're putting it out in your face. Okay, well that's good. If that's what Gene Decos is saying, I assimilate. I agree. There's a lot of demonic inside Vancouver. A lot of very evil. Yeah. Ishmael Perez. Yeah. Not Ishmael Perez. There's another Perez guy. I don't even know his name. He's all over the website right now. Yeah, he was. He tried to do a video about himself to try to unalive himself. He was using a bread knife or whatever, cutting himself all up. He had blood all over him, whatever. Yeah, and it was very, very demonic looking. And I don't know what he was doing, but he was completely possessed. It's a kind of like a I don't know who Perez Hilton. That's his name. Yeah. It just come to me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, my God. He gives me downputs or inputs. He was in there doing some very demonic stuff because what did he do? He was eating human DNA, and his mind was being eaten alive. That's what happens. Your brain gets eaten alive, and you turn very, very violent and self-mutilating. That's what happens. So you're going to play that game. You're going to pay the price, and that's what they're all the what you want to call elites or whatever that are out there that have been put into place. Because if you think that the voting that we have done up to this point is legit, then you're in the wrong matrix. You're on the wrong page. Yeah. ADHD is a gift vibrated at a different level. Yeah, they can't handle the frequency. Well, I don't know, and that's it's a decent comment to work on, to marinate on. You'd have to. I don't know exactly anything about it. I just know what I'm dealing with. Yeah. I do know that they're displaying a lot of evil stuff right now. That's what they're doing. The evil is out on full display right now because they cannot. They're being exposed. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that's going. They said, well, it was, there's a lot of things that they say, Dave, that's absolute stupidity, and it's just lies. So, apparently you're able to do some sun gazing, 15 minutes when the sun breaks, and then 15 minutes before it goes down, as it's just, hitting the plane of the land. Not in the center. No, when it's overhead, then you try not to look at it. Yeah, voting has never been legit. It was everything to keep everybody busy, thinking that they were doing their their country's duty or whatever they were doing, and in their democracy, which is not even a democracy. If we have a republic, it's run a different way, and this is why the Q phones are going to come out, and they're going to what they're going to use, they're going to give everybody the phone, and why not? They're going to and it's going to. But what they do with that phone is going to, if you do everything evil with the phone, you're going to pay the price. It's really, it's another form of you do good things will happen to you. If you use the phone and start, trying to vote for the demonics, and that's why they're putting, these socialist fascists in these different states right now, such as Michigan, such as New York, stuff like that there. So if you see a whole bunch of people that are voting into that and they're doing their voting, then they have got them computed. It's right in their phone. That's how they're going to get this thing under control. And it's and all the money from Gesara, once that happens, in order to, everybody's going to have to go back to their home country to collect their income, or their whatever you want to call it, universal pay. Isn't that another way to get them all, back to their own culture? I know the Muslims be the first to go, but they're watching. I see how they're doing it. They're throwing everything at it right now and letting everything run absolutely to a level of insanity around the world. Okay, and then they'll say, because nobody's got any money, and they're into the point where they're stealing money, stealing houses, breaking into houses, stealing people's things, rape, kill, and pillage. What's going on right now to wake up as many people as they possibly can, and then it'll all come to an end. Yes, I know. And, everything that's going on there is all being monitored. I've been in Canada for 32 years, and I did that research. I do or don't have to go back to my country to collect anything. Well, okay, that's fine. I hope you're right. They're, like it says, Canadians that are Canadians or whatever, that might be the way it's going to be done. But, like I said, if you have a birth certificate, from what I understand, if your birth certificate says another country, you're going to have to go back there. I'm going to have to go back. If I'm in the Philippines, I will have to come back to Canada. That's what I'm understanding. When the new global system hits, there won't be anyone voting. No, there's no more. Trump's the last president. There will be, JJ is going to come back. John F. Kennedy Jr. will be back on some other platform, whether he could be some, I think they're building a war room for him right now, because he's bound and determined to get revenge on his father's murders and everybody and anything that's tied to it, even a distance proxy. He's going to get revenge on it. Yep. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Dave, and and everybody's got their own opinion on that, how that's going to work. But I do know that for a fact, if you're got a birth certificate from another country, you're going to have to go back to that country to collect, because that's where the scene of the crime was. As soon as they registered your birth certificate through that particular registry number, that was where the crime was committed. Yep. I was born and raised in Vancouver. I was born Canadian. So my birth certificate says Canada on it. So I'll have to come back here to collect off of my birth certificate. Although I live in the Philippines. I'm here to do, I'm still a Canadian citizen. But they could say, well, you need a dual citizenship. No, you don't. You can live 9, 10, 11 months out of the year as long as you come back and do your yearly taxes, which is basically all. I come back for that because I collect a pension. So I have to report or declare my pension. What I do on the side's none of their business. Yes, it'll be a glorious day when they all leave. Well, they're gonna leave because they're gonna know it's not. I mean, look how easy it was and how fast it was for them to come into the country to invade. They're going to be wanting to do the same thing, but they're going to do everything they can to get back. Look at that absolute mess in Morocco, where they had to go in there through that bottleneck to get into Spain. There was hundreds and hundreds of people that died, just being crushed, trying to get through the gates. Where does that mentality come from? What did they starve him for a month? I mean, my God, did they put him into poverty for that much time that they were climbing over each other to get over the gate to start raping and pillaging inside Spain? This is all by design. Okay, so yeah, I understand, Alex. That so that means that my girlfriend, wife will have to go back to England because that's where she was born, but moved here 5 years ago. Okay, or when she was 5. Yeah, well, I mean, doesn't that make sense? They have to benchmark it off of something. Otherwise, I mean, how are they gonna get the money out to the people that have it coming to them? Everything's being vetted out right now. She's been here for 50 years. I know. I get it. I understand. But they're going to have to do something. You're third generation. I'm third generation Canadian, and I was born on Vancouver Island. Well, that's fine. Then you're, wherever you are now, if you're, like I said, if you bought foreign currency that's not part of Gesara. If you bought into metal and started, buying metal with your paper money, your fiat currency that's worthless, then that's not part of Gesara. Okay? What is part of Gesara is what is tied to your birth certificate. And when they activate that, that's going to be money coming from your birth certificate. They have to know who you are, and based on them manipulating your family trust. They took your family trust. They stole it. The banks did it. The insurance companies did it. The politicians did it. They're not your friend. Yes, I know what you're saying. She'll have to go back in order to. I mean, she don't have to. She can stay in Canada, whatever, but she's just not going to get her pay. She has to go back there based on her birth. That's what I'm understanding. I've heard that 100 times. All of Canada will have to leave almost. Well, yeah, I know. We have 10 million, migrants. 10 million. They're all going to have to go back. And I don't know how they're going to get back. I mean, can you imagine what the airports are going to look like? Well, it doesn't matter. It's like I'm just saying, for people that did buy foreign currency through their bank, that kept the paperwork on it, that's going to be be revalued, and you're going to be, very handsomely rewarded. Okay, you're going to be very handsomely be rewarded for because all that currency is going to be revaluated. Yeah. I understand there's, I understand that there will be a lot of people, there's a lot of sleepers here, especially on the Canadian side, that, are sleeping right now, but they're good people. They're just hardworking farm people or ranchers or whatever they are. They're all going to be, a part of the new world, and they will wake up once they see everything going on. They will wake up. I believe that'll be the final kick when the EBS hits. When the EBS hits and everything gets shut down, banks, everything else, it will wake up a lot of people. But from what I'm understanding, based on the information I'm getting, if I'm wrong, we can talk about it, right? But well, it could be more than 10 million. I'm just throwing numbers out there. It could be a lot more. I mean, I know that they had the doors open since Trudeau, 2014. It's been a revolving door. I know that because I travel in and out of Canada, and I watch it at the immigration. They don't even look at me anymore. They look at my passport, whatever, and they put me through that, what do you call that, automated, answer yes or no, whatever. You get the card, whatever, you don't bring anything back, no, and all that, and you get the card or the paperwork off that, get in line, and they push you right through. No questions asked. Well, we don't know how many, we're not going to know exactly what's going on there. It's going to be a lot of, the thing is, when they get money, are they going to want to come back and try to start a new life, or are they going to want to rebuild their culture with all the money that they're getting based on, their stolen money from their birth certificate, from their family? Yeah. Yeah, well, you can disagree. I don't care. Doesn't matter. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm just giving you my opinion on what it's going to be. I'm not here to argue or debate it. I'm just letting you know that this is how it's going to go based on my information. Okay, Alex says, I have my brother and sister still living in South Africa, and the birth certificate money gets given. Can they get my money and send it to me? No. You have to go back to collect off your birth certificate, unfortunately. I have to fly back, and, I've got some foreign currency over there, some metals over there, I diversified everywhere where, Philippines is basically my home. That's the only place I own property. And I don't even own the property there, but I built my villa there because I refuse to pay taxes in Canada anymore. I own 67 mortgages inside Canada, and I paid through taxes and interest money from my banks and everything else that I borrowed on my mortgages. They owe me a pile of money. It will be universal income that we will get monthly. Yeah, you will be watched on how you spend it. Exactly. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. I'm not sure, like it says, I don't know how this thing's going to play out. I really don't. But I do know, based on what I've been learning, that's what I'm trying to get out I'm trying to put it out onto the table. Yes, it looks like it will have to happen that way, Christine. I don't have anything in solid fact, but based on what the information I'm getting through, that's two sources I'm getting it from, but, maybe Gesara might be, like I said, if you are a resident there at that point, there might be some concessions that, that might allow something different. I don't know how this thing's going to play out. I really don't. I wish I did. Yeah, it's a waiting game. I know. Unfortunately. But, they got to make sure that they got to play its course. This is a military operation, and they're playing its course, and they're running the numbers by the book. I'll make it all right, but if anything gets higher, I won't. Well, that's the problem. The living standards inside North America is unbearable. I seen this coming. I seen it coming a long time ago. But if I didn't have I got no family here anymore inside Canada. Most of I do. I got, some kids, 3 kids out of 6 that are still in Canada. But they don't talk to me, so, what's the point, right? So I seen this all coming back in 1990. And, a lot of people demonized me, for the decisions that I was making back in 1990, that I wanted to make a stand for it inside the Philippines because I love the country and I love the people there. It's a very easier way of living. I've been to many countries, and, this thing about living in Japan, that's quite easy to do if you know what you're doing. Japan's not that expensive, really. You know, but they make it out to be. And maybe even the Japanese, the programming up there, they say, it's very, very expensive here, and you got to do this, that, and anything, whatever. But, when you've lived there for 11 years, you realize that, no, it's not really that expensive there. If I was to put a scale on 1 to 10, being 10 is the worst, I think Canada's 10, and Japan is like a 5. Yeah. Yep. Saw it right after the 9/11, totally awakened me. Yes, I know. Well, 9/11 was a big wake-up call for me. I was in Japan. I mean, I'd already done, 5 years there? No, I did 5, 6 years there at that point. And, speaking Japanese, and, I was watching CNN, English TV in the hotel up there. And I said, I was phoning my other structural engineer guys when this happened, even when the building 2 was burning. And I'm going, and building 1 went down. And I'm going, does any of this make sense? They're saying no. And then, of course, after all that happened, then Trump come on. And then I'm starting seeing stuff that was on TV, and I'm saying, this doesn't make sense. They're lying to us. So I knew right there CNN was lying, and that's when I cut my cable. I said, no more TV. I'm done. It's too much. They got us looking in this direction, and distractions and head moves and lies and everything else to keep us off guard, to keep us stupid. Basically lying to us. And if we didn't realize that we were being lied to, which a lot of normies out there still don't figure it out. They can't figure it out. They still think that, what's on CNN or, MSNBC or whatever is the gospel. And that's really quite a shame. They're completely, you've been captured. Their minds have been captured. Yeah. I would agree with that statement, Alex. Canada is at 10. Yeah. It's in very, very bad shape. Yeah, very bad shape. I mean, look at the gasoline, $8 a gallon. That's where I am right now, $8 a gallon. Bread, you can't buy bread for, some bread, the real cheap flour bread, we can get it for $3, $4. But, eggs are about the only thing is survival food. You can get $6 a dozen, but, I can get an egg for, I can get 5 eggs for 20 pesos. In the Philippines. That's like 50 cents, right? Yeah, TV's their God. That's exactly what it is. And, I said the best thing to free the mind is cut your cable. Stop watching TV and all the mainstream bullshit that's on there. Listen, if you want to watch old movies and maybe the sitcoms, stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed Yellowstone. I really enjoyed the new one there that's out there right now. We're just going through it right now. I have to go over to a friend's place to watch it, which is one with Rip and Beth down in Texas. I forget about that one, but that's a real good one. I enjoy that one. I like to get my head around. I don't think I got that much time left to watch the Marshals. But I would really enjoy that as well. So there is good stuff that's out there that I enjoy just for entertainment purposes only, right? Takes my mind off all the, all the chaos that's going on. But you are right. TV's their God, and they work very, very hard all day long. They're just smart enough to go to work, pay their taxes, and then sit with a beer or two on the couch and watch their TV and sports all weekend. Absolutely. It's just a modernized Colosseum of Rome. That's all it is. It's just a modernized Colosseum of Rome. I have Roku, and I can watch all of the old shows. There you go. And the old shows are good. They're entertaining, right? It's the Dutton Ranch. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I love that. That's a great series. That's just one twist after another. And we were able to get through the whole first season. I thought it was quite how they left it, and it's a very entertaining series. Yeah. Paramount, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yellowstone was a great. A lot of people don't agree with whatever it was because a true cowboy says, "Well, that didn't happen. That doesn't happen." I get it, but it's good entertainment, right? I did a lot of. I did play with ranching for a couple of years as a 17, 18-year-old up in the Hinds Creek, northwest of Fairview, Alberta. Montney Ranch was the name of the place. Very interesting times, yeah. I just started watching The Marshals, and I didn't even know it was tied to the Yellowstone. Yes, it was, yeah. Yeah, that's Casey, I guess his name is. Yeah, that was what his job was. And I want to watch it because, I want to see who's there, and Casey's boy, how he's growing up and what he's kind of being now. And I heard apparently his wife has passed away or something. I don't know. So, I would like to get over to my friend's place and have a watch. Yeah. Yeah, it's clean entertainment. Thank you very much, Maria. That's a good word for it. Yeah. But, other than that, stay out of the mainstream news. The news is absolutely disgusting. It actually it gives me a headache and it turns my stomach to have these people actually look you in the eye and blatantly lie to you. Like Dana Bash with what she was trying to do, such an insulting to humanity. What a demon that woman is, and how she was trying to play down our Secretary of Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a God's bloodline that has been in the politics, and his family's been there for generations. And you're sitting there blatantly lying and contradicting him. Absolutely, that's just terrible. And people that were, all the lefties will just be sopping that up. And then she says, well, I'll never invite him on there again. Well, of course not, because you got your ass, you got your ass, the floor was mopped up with your butt, right? You like Doris Day? Yeah, she was fun. Yeah, don't get me going on the old shows because, too many things pop up. I loved a lot of them back when I was a kid, watching them on black and white TV. Yeah. Yeah, you like that one too, eh? A Little House in the Prairie. Okay, let's not. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Apparently, yeah. Um, Michael Landon's daughter was part of Yellowstone. She played a great part. All MSM is propaganda. Yeah, it's like going to a drug-infested rave party. That's what it is. And that's what they're trying to throw. And it's basically for the low frequency people, the low frequencies. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff that is absolutely insanity. And and it just, if it doesn't assimilate with you, and if you are saying, no, this is not, there's something off about this, then your ascension is much higher than theirs. And you're not buying into the minutia, right? Don't buy into the lies. Everything that's on mainstream media, they have no following except for the mentally ill, right? These platforms here, with the amount of truth that is out there, you're going to be able to assimilate with a lot of social media people that are there. They all have their qualities and their information, right? This is what we're having to deal with right now. We're having to basically, navigate our way through all the lies and deception, and not to mention, all the low reacting demons that are out there, trying to, all the vibrating people are in low frequency, are being loosed. Their minds have been captured. And there's not much we can do about to change that. They're on their own highway now.